Have you ever wondered what really runs the internet? I mean, what's the secret technology that's quietly powering just about everything you do online? It's a name you've probably heard, but what is it really? Well, we're about to find out.
So just take a second and think about it. What's the secret sauce, the engine, behind the biggest digital systems on the entire planet? What's running the show behind the scenes at places like Google, Amazon, and even inside your Android phone? Now, if your first guess was Windows, nope. That's a great guess, since it's on so many desktops, but that's not it. Okay, well, what about macOS? Known for its amazing design, right? But nope, it's not that either. The real answer is something way, way more widespread, and yet, most of the time, it's completely invisible.
It's Linux. That's it. It is the secret engine, the unsung hero that supports so much of our modern world. And today, we're going to dive in and understand exactly why it's so important. So here's our plan. We'll start with what an operating system even is, then get into the core of Linux, figure out why it's so dominant, see where it's hiding in plain sight, and finally, talk about why it might just be the most important skill for a career in tech.
All right, first things first, to really get a handle on Linux, we have to understand the job of any operating system. And the best way to think about it is like the conductor of a huge orchestra.
You see, an OS is basically the translator. It's the bridge that lets you, the user, talk to all the physical hardware. You know, the chips, the drives, the memory, and actually get something done. Without an OS, a computer is just a very expensive paperweight. It's juggling everything. It tells the computer's brain what to do. It manages the memory so your apps don't crash into each other. It organizes all your files. It even makes sure that when you move your mouse, the little arrow on the screen actually moves. It's the central nervous system of the whole machine. Okay, now for a really key detail, something that trips a lot of people up. You'll hear the words Linux and operating system used like they're the same thing. But they're not, and it's super important to understand the difference.
I want you to think about it like this: the engine versus the car. The Linux kernel, that's the core piece that Linus Torvalds created back in 1991, that's the engine. It's the fundamental part that talks directly to the hardware. But you can't drive just an engine, right? You need the whole car around it. That complete, drivable package, that's what we call a Linux distribution. And this is where it gets really cool. There are hundreds of different cars, all built around that same powerful Linux engine. You have Ubuntu, which is like a popular user-friendly car for everyday use. Then you have Red Hat, which is like a giant, heavy-duty truck for big corporations. And something like Kali Linux, that's like a specialized spy car, packed with tools just for cybersecurity. Same engine, different vehicles for different jobs. So, the big question is, why this engine? Out of all the options, how did Linux totally take over the world of servers and supercomputers? What is its big advantage? Let's break it down.
First off, it's open source. That means a global army of developers is always looking at the code, fixing it, making it better. That leads to legendary stability. I'm talking servers that can run for years without a reboot. It's also more secure because most malware is designed to attack Windows. And it's incredibly lightweight. It can run on a tiny computer the size of a credit card or power the fastest supercomputer on Earth. And of course, the killer feature, it's free. This one fact has saved companies billions of dollars.
So we know the what and the why. Now let's get to the where. Let's go out and see just how deep Linux runs in the world around us. You're probably going to be surprised. Just let this number sink in for a second. 90%. When you browse a website, stream a movie, use an app, the chances are overwhelming that a Linux server is sending that data to you. It's not just part of the internet, it is the backbone of the internet. And it doesn't stop there. The cloud? Pretty much all Linux. Your Android phone? It runs on the Linux kernel. But get this, the laptops on the International Space Station? They run Linux. The Mars rovers that NASA is using to explore another planet? Yep, they're running on Linux too. It's literally out of this world. Once you start looking, you see it's absolutely everywhere.
Every single tech giant, the services you use every single day, they simply could not operate at their massive scale without Linux. Their globe-spanning networks of data centers are all built on the stability and flexibility that Linux gives them. Okay, so this brings us to a really practical point. We've established that Linux runs the world. So the next logical question is, why should this matter to you? Why should you care? Well, here's the bottom line. If you're interested in any of today's hottest, highest-paying tech jobs, I'm talking cloud, DevOps, cybersecurity, then learning Linux isn't just a nice-to-have skill, it's a non-negotiable requirement. It's the foundation. People in these roles live and breathe Linux every single day.
And this is the key right here. Getting comfortable with the command line. You know, that text-based screen where you type in commands? That's what separates the beginners from the pros. It's the key that unlocks real power and control over the digital world.
So let's wrap this all up. Linux isn't just another alternative to Windows or Mac OS. It is the powerful, flexible open-source engine that, when it's put into a distribution, becomes the dominant force running our entire modern internet.
The world we live in is built on this technology. So the only question left for you is, are you content to just be a user of that world? Or are you ready to learn the skills to become one of its architects?